Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 433 for December 2nd, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another host, Kyle.
I'm another host, Mo.
And I'm the last host, Kelly.
All
Hello.
the hosts, all the time. What's going on here?
All the hosts with the most.
There we go.
Hosts?
Mm-hmm.
The hostess with the mostest?
Something like that.
How's your guys' Black Friday?
It's
Is your credit card like hot, untouchable, or like what temperature would you rate it as?
Sub-Zero.
Cut up.
Ashes.
I was actually very good this year. That's good.
Yeah, me too. I just like little items.
Hey.
I was really good up until like the weekend. I was like,
Oh, really?
I kept seeing things, and I was like, oh.
You couldn't unsee them?
No. It's too tempting.
Do you know what today is?
Oh,
December 2nd.
2021. It's a palindrome. Just saying. For geeks and nerds like us. Anyways. Whatever. Okay, move on.
Okay.
Not by the Canadian date format, though.
Okay.
The Canadian date format, the American one or the world one?
I think that it's the world one because it's year, month, day for that to work.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Why don't we get into what we did with guns? What we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. They are now a full-line gray birch retailer. So if you want a fancy 1022 with carbon fiber stuff and aluminum stuff and adjustable, skeletonized whatnot, check out the Calgary Shooting Center.
Sweet.
Why don't we start this week with Kelly?
Okay. Why don't I actually put down my phone as friends stop sharing and pull up the show notes. All right. So I went to FRPC, which is my local range, which is Frontenac. We had range orientation all last weekend, and I helped out at that. And I'm going to be doing it again this weekend. I have somebody. I'm seeing somebody tomorrow. Actually, not somebody. It's a plural tomorrow, and then straight after work, and then I'm going to go home, and I'm going to go out on Saturday and do the exact same thing with a couple more people, and then I'm going to go and do it on Sunday as well with a couple more people as well. So we're getting some people in, and these are all new members. But remember, I've talked to you guys about we have to do probation shoots, so I'm putting them through their probation shoots. And the really weird thing is that a couple of them, they have so much more experience than I do shooting, and I've already done courses with them and everything. So I think I'm going to sign off on them on Saturday. They're not going to have to do any more probationary shoots. I already did one.
Were they doing like trick shots where they're like, Here, throw this quarter in the air from the hip and just nail it?
Yeah.
All right, you're probably good. One more probationary shoot. Left out. I got this apple, you see.
The mirror.
Yeah.
Over your shoulder with the mirror.
Oh, nice.
One of the guys, he attended a Maple Seed and he got his rifle and patch, and he also runs the base range here too. And then he's also with JTF. So anyways, we had him on the rifle range and got him to shoot downrange, and he said, yeah, I hope that I actually did really well, because if not, I'm going to have to give Kelly back her Maple Seed patch. And I said, yeah, you will. So he did okay. So I'll be seeing him on Saturday too. And I told him already that he's not going to have to do any more probationary shoots. What else? Oh, I took a friend to the range too. She got a GSG 16. It came out of the box, and so nice. She said she was she went out to SFRC, which is our favorite store, one of them anyways. She decided she was going to get a couple of rifles, and she looked for some recommendations. They said the GSG 16 was great for blinking. And so she picked that up, and she's waiting for her other one to come in, but she needed to have the red dot mounted to it, and she didn't know how to do that. And she also had a Strike Eagle as well. And I'm going, yeah, we're not going to put that on the GSG. Anyways, so I helped her mount that, and then we cleaned it as well, and then we put some rounds through it, and then I helped her with her stance and everything, and she was super excited about it. She's a
What
nice
kind
little
of scope
point.
was she trying to put on? Did you see a Strike Eagle?
Yeah. So
Aren't you supposed to get like twice as expensive as an optic as your rifle? Follow the
Anyways,
rules. Come on. Is it
she
like a
has another.
5-25 or something?
Yeah. No, she's got another rifle coming. I'm not sure what it is. I have no idea what it is. I think it's maybe a WK. I'm not sure, but anyway, so she just wanted a 22 and something chambered in either 223 or 556. I don't know. I'm not sure what she actually ordered, but I said we'll put the scope on your other rifle that's coming in, but we'll put the red dot on the GSD. So she got an impromptu lesson on how to mount a red dot, and then she also got an impromptu lesson on basically how to do MOA and calculate your angle and everything like that. So it was done in the car. Reason was because it was freaking cold and that. So, but we had a great time. So the other thing also just wanted everybody to know is that in case you didn't hear it or not, the calendar, it's out, thank God. A year's worth of work. And this calendar is probably the best thing that's ever came out of the CCFR other than Tracy Wilson and Rod Galtaka. Like seriously, this is awesome. I'm going to actually, well, I have it here. So Adriel, when you put out the show notes, can you please add it to it? Just go to Firearms Rights, go to their store, and it's the first thing on the page as well. And also, why don't you pick up some swag too? Because if you pick up the swag, then you can cover some of the shipping, and then you can also help CCFR as well because a lot of that stuff, it's basically fundraising. So go and do that. So working really hard on that. We have some Gunny Girl signings that are coming up, and I put that in this event section, so we can talk about that in a few minutes. And that's about it. Mo, what about you?
Since I wasn't on last week, I want to go back 2 weekends to talk about a match in Ottawa. It was at the RA Center, which is like a community center / sports center. And when I say Ottawa, it's actually in Ottawa. It's not in some suburb or small town near it. It's like a kilometer from Carleton University. It's pretty close. And so you go in there. You don't really know where the range is because there's signs to tell you where the curly rink is, the archery rink, the gym, everything. But of course, the gun range is very secretive. So I didn't know where I was going. I found a guy that was working there, and he showed me. He was actually so nice. He took me right to it was in the basement. It's one range, but it's pretty wide, and it was a pretty cool match. I was in what I would call this a super squad. Not that I'm super squad worthy, but Remy Doucet, who finished, I guess, in the nationals right at the top for standard division. It was his match. He was the director and match director, and he was in the squad. Alexander Berdal was in the squad, as you guys know, top like production shooter. And then there's a couple of like young guys that I've seen these guys shoot. Like they haven't been to a nationals yet because I guess the last two were canceled, right? But I'm sure they will be there because these guys, you could see if they keep working at their shooting game, they're going to be
So
there.
That was your squad?
That was nice. So
that's an awesome squad.
So it was a super squad in me, and then even the other guys that I didn't mention, they're like all good shooters that I've seen, and it was a good group of guys. And then what made it interesting was, like I said, it was one range, 5 stages. The first 2 were set up front to back to back, and they were short stages. And then for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they pretty much used the whole space, like all the width and everything, and they just kept moving stuff around. Like it was like a theater play where they just it was Remy and his people, and they were just moving. They had like the shooting boxes on wheels, and they just moved everything around, and it was like really well done. And so you managed to do like 3 pretty big stages indoors with lots of like movement, lots of running around and stuff.
Good.
So yeah, it made it really fun. And like I said, it was a good group, and it was actually awesome to see those guys shoot too, right? The way they prepare and stuff, and the effort they put in. And so that was 2 weekends ago. And then it was actually cool to walk into a community center, and there I am with my gun bag, and people are going in there with their gym bags and like regular community center stuff. And so there was that. And then Last weekend was at the Ctm Match in Montreal.
How'd that go?
Less than good. So here's my story on it.
Okay.
And it's my home range, and I like the people there and everything, and I like the way they set up the stages. But the thing they did was they set up 4-person squads where they would do that 4-person squads every hour, and I didn't really care for a 4-person squad and then what they did is so they had 2 stages in their pistol range and 2 stages in their rifle range. And they also they didn't have all 4 shooters go through one stage and then all 4 shooters go through the next stage. They alternated them again. So really, I was the first shooter on the first stage. I reloaded my mags. It was a 32 rounder. So by the time I reloaded my mags, I patched once, and then I was already shooting the next stage. Ooh. And I was a little flustered because I like to because I even see the Super Squad guys, I like to prepare and think it out and have it completely in my head. And not that it's these stages are super complicated, but I like to have it in my head. And I knew that I hadn't counted out all the rounds for that second stage. I knew I was missing a target. And sure enough, as soon as I was finished, one of the guys that was standing there, he wasn't even shooting. He gives me a look and he's like, you didn't engage a target. And it kind of bothered me. Not that he said that, it just kind of bothered me. So then I went to go talk to the RO. And then I'm not super proud of this because I'm usually a good citizen when it comes to these matches. But I kind of said to him, I don't really care for this, the 4-person squad. And then he said something that really triggered me because he gave the COVID excuse. Well, it's COVID. And I'm like, COVID? I'm like, I've gone and shot at so many indoor matches in 2 provinces and no one else is doing 4-person squads. I said I was in Ottawa last weekend and we had an 11-person squad, and that was indoors in a basically a government building. Okay. And so and then I was I got kind of heated and I feel bad because I was told he's a nice guy and everything, but it bothered me. And then the rest of the last 2 stages, I was already and I did horrible. And then to add to the story, I had switched to production from production optics because I just wanted to shoot production again. And that didn't go well. So anyways, so 2 different matches and 2 different results. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have experienced any squads that small, but I just thought it's just. Yeah.
Yeah, we had some at Chaz here. We ran some split squads, and we had some 4-person squads every once in a while. It's fast. You don't really have a lot of room to think. You gotta move. But I don't know. I kind of like it because it's fast.
It's fast.
Yeah,
but you don't get to prepare.
It's as close to get on the stage, look at the stage, get a stage plan, shoot it, reload. Next stage.
Okay, and don't be offended, but to me it's the drive-through experience of IPSC. I want to go there, and I'm not saying I'm going there for social hour, but I'd like to be there for a bit and watch people shoot and prepare for myself. But I feel it's shooting, patching, shooting again, done. And it was just
so did you get a stage briefing?
Yeah, they did, and they did, and they gave us enough time for both.
Then that's your problem.
Patch too with 4-person squads, and you had to patch. There's no work and shoot squad. There's 4 people per squad. Period.
Yeah, patching.
Oh, that would be hard. That would be hard because you would be stuck. Bomb up your mags, patch once maybe, and then you're on deck.
That's what exactly I said. It was a 32 rounder, and I basically had to fill up 4 mags, and then I went and patched once. And this is an indoor match where there's no forward movement, so they have to be creative there's a little bit more steel, there's a little bit more intricate targets because just to make it fun, or else without the forward movement, it's limited. So then even the patching takes time too, right? And that's why I said I patched once, and then I'm not on deck, I'm already shooting, and it's I
was gonna say similarly. If you're only patching once, that means everyone else on your squad is only patching once, which means you're the only one out there resetting. That is just baffling to me for that small of a squad. It's absolutely baffling.
When we ran 4-person squads at Chaz's, because we were running a shoot and a reset squad. So one squad was resetting, you have 4 guys are all resetting, and it's nice and quick and optimal. but like 4 people to shoot and reset is
Yeah,
It's
challenging.
crazy.
you got shooter on deck, guy reloading his bags, and patcher.
Patcher.
Yeah.
And then they're splitting them. And that's the thing is, I think if they had run all 4 shooters at one stage, and then now let's do the stage 2, and then all 4 shooters, okay, would be a little bit better. But I just think it's just too.
Did they sell out, or was it like a low attendance thing? Or?
Yeah, but that's happening in all. Unfortunately, that's happening at all the Quebec matches where they're struggling to fill them. I registered for another match this weekend in Outaouais, which is near Gatineau, and that's supposed to be a good location, and it's not sold out either.
I'm so
Really?
jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, they're not selling out. It's I don't know if it's all about passports or money at Christmas time or what, but it's like these matches are not selling out. So
Maybe everyone's selling their handguns or moving to a place that isn't going to ban handguns.
yeah,
No, I think that our group of people, there's a higher majority that don't actually have their vaccines. Then there's also
yeah.
there are the people who are a little bit more concerned about COVID as well, and then they're also squatting smaller, and yeah, anyways, and then people crossing borders, and it's Montreal too, so it is
So
what it
bar
is.
matches.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I'm noticing it that they're not selling out. So yeah, so those, and I mean it's I don't want to knock it because it is my home club, and I just didn't care for the 4-person squad, and maybe I'm being a suck about it, and I wasn't happy that I kind of lost it, but you know, the Italian in me comes out once in a while. I'm pretty mild mannered, but once in a while I get
You're like
triggered.
Bruce Banner.
Hasn't happened on the show yet. We're gonna find
No.
something to get.
Yeah.
on
You guys
your
are nice
head.
to me generally, so
Find Mo's
We're
go
gonna
button.
go button.
except Kelly always telling me to move, so I'm always trying to move now. At the end of the show, I'm always exhausted because I'm like trying to move. So, okay, so yeah, those are my
Yeah.
matches. I signed up for another one in Quebec this weekend, which should be good. I bought a trigger on Boxing Day from Red Deer Shooting Center Club.
Yeah.
Which one did you get?
Yeah.
So it's it's a Timney trigger. It's called the Atlas. It's like a Glock trigger, competition
Yeah.
Glock trigger. So it should be coming next week because it takes about 6 months to come from Alberta to Quebec. So
Well, it's going to another country, so
yeah.
It's got to get
So, yeah.
relabeled with language added to it on the way in, and translation.
So I'll hopefully be able to show. Yeah, it's supposed to come next Wednesday, so hopefully I'll be able to show it on the show next Thursday. And anything else for me? I did some live fire practice, which I hadn't done in a while because I had made some extra ammo, and I also wanted to practice like shooting without the optic. So, and I'm going to be doing that again. I'm not giving up, so I'm going to be doing that again.
So you're going to continue classic?
But without
Oh, you're doing production?
without,
Sorry.
yeah.
Why didn't
Production.
I see classic?
I don't know.
I
Because
don't know.
Mo's a classic.
I'm a classy fellow. Yeah. I'm going back au naturel, back to
Au
production.
naturel?
So yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not using menin in your beard, so you're good.
Should I be?
No.
Was
We
that
love you just the way
was that
you
a hit?
are.
Was that a hit, Kelly?
No. We love you just the way you are.
Are you gonna make me mad? I don't want to be mad tonight. I wanted to come on here happy. So.
We'll find out.
yeah.
There's still lots of show to go.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it though. It's kind of like Bruce Banner and
Okay.
the
Well-
Hulk.
Maybe towards the end of the show then.
Okay.
How about you, Kyle?
Sweet nothing. I I didn't get a chance to do anything. I still don't have wood in for the range.
Oh.
I spent the weekend studying and doing a online course, not gun related. So yeah, it's just a short one for me this week because there was nothing. I didn't buy anything for Black Friday, and yeah. So
Okay, that was short and sweet.
Cool.
yeah, well, you wanted it short and sweet, so there you go.
I know. I prepped everybody. Short and sweet, guys.
Very short and sweet.
How do you feel about 4-person squads?
If you have to reset, I think it's stupid.
Okay.
As a match
It would be
director,
hard.
well, I'm
It'd be
not
really
going to go
hard.
there. I think
Yeah.
4-person squads resetting is stupid. Or 3-gun, I think ideally you need like 10 people to a squad.
or 5 and 5, a reset and a shoot
Yeah,
squad.
work
Yeah.
squad.
Oh
and
yeah.
then
If you're
shoot
just
squad.
shooting 4 or 5, yeah, okay, yeah, it's moving along really fast. You don't really have your downtime. But your comment about not going to matches for the social side of it, that to me, that's like one of the main purposes. Because if you break it down, the amount of time you actually spend shooting during a match is less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
the
I'm
rest
saying I'm
of
not
it
going there
is
just to talk to people. No, I'm saying that. But during the shooting time, I want a little bit more time to think about it,
digest and actually
to
walk through the
digest.
stage.
Thank you.
And
I want to
plan
savor.
those
I want to
acts.
savor my stages. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to just scarf down a Whopper and be on my way. So.
That's
that
Delta
Whopper.
Mike no shoot. Mwah, love it. It's just divine.
So Jarrett wants you to get an open gun. You already got an open gun.
No, I don't have an open gun.
I thought you did.
No. They look too
Put a break
complicated.
on one of your guns. Done.
I didn't put out my open gun tonight. Darn.
No, I don't have an open gun.
Although it's tough for me to compete with my open gun because it's in 400 Corbon. Go to a store and try and find that ammo. I have the dies for it, but even finding brass, I resize 45 or keep all my brass.
You're the guy in between each shooter, like picking brass.
Yeah. I need that.
Get off start patching, Kyle.
You
You're the one that's coloring your brass.
Yeah.
Like a shot.
Yeah, just powder coat all my brass.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Okay. Easy.
A lot of
to
effort.
identify.
Yeah. As for my, are you done, Kyle?
Yeah.
He was done 5 minutes ago.
I'm done before I started. I ordered that IBI barrel like on the show last week.
I knew you would.
$250. What was this? Half off Gucci barrel?
Yeah.
And they're good quality, like serious good quality. It was too good to pass up.
Yeah, I had a good quality barrel, but now I have two, and one's in 308 and one's in 6.5. So
Did you get it yet?
Up in and out. Nope, haven't got it yet.
I'm not sure if you'll get it in the next little bit.
I don't know either because I didn't get any emails or anything like that.
Well, they're not actually able to get into the business because they're in Abbotsford.
That's why. Oh, I was like, man, it's kind of slow right now. I was like, oh yeah, they're underwater. If it's not like 1 week getting flooded from one atmospheric river, it's another one that they're okay. That makes sense. Okay, good. Because I was actually just looking through my email today. I'm like, oh, I haven't shipped anything weird.
Ryan sent it
underwater.
He sent it a couple of emails saying, or not emails, messages saying, yeah, we're trying. We're just not being able to get in there, but we'll get in there soon. Everybody hang on.
Cool. Okay, well, I bought that. And then I've been like watching the Black Friday sales, watching for like, is there anything interesting? There's that Savage Axis. I've already got 2. And I was like, oh, should I buy another one? I don't need one, but I want one. And I didn't get it. I'm glad I did. Instead, I got some other stuff. Oh, I still couldn't resist the call. These ISSCs. I had one of the other versions that was 650, a different version previous to this. The reliability was not great unless you're like real rammy with it, and it was fine. That was 650. This one's 500. They had this on sale for 250.
Oh,
so I bought one of those.
Yeah,
250.
Yeah. Okay, I can understand.
Nice.
Had to.
How could you resist?
Yeah, and there's people like, oh, they're running into some reliability problems, but I've got a Dremel, so reliability problems are just a matter of time and tinkering for me.
And it's $250.
Yes, and at $250, I am okay working with something that needs some tweaking. And then I was I'm buying something from Cabela's. Might as well look at what else they got, and I find something else that they had. So they had the Savage A22s. Is this the right one? Yes, with the 10-round mag and the 25-round mag and a scope, and they had it for $320 or something like that, $329. So I added one of those to the order too.
Again, did you get some extra mags?
A 10-rounder and a 25-rounder. How many more do you need?
Ones that work.
ones that work.
That's always good.
Well, Kelly, I don't know if you know this about me, but I tend to buy and sell guns quite
Yeah, I
frequently.
know.
So long-term planning is not something I really need to do.
That's true.
Because typically, I'll be just straight up with this. I will buy stuff on sale. I'll wait a couple of months, and I'll turn around and I'll sell it for more than I paid
A
for
profit.
it. And
Except
don't
for if
fall
you're
in love with-
selling them.
well. I don't like to use the profit word because then the government might be like, "Whoa, you're making money at this," and now we're
Yeah.
taxing you on
Red
it.
flag, red flag.
No,
At
it's-
inflation
I didn't
rates?
like it. I shot it once or twice. I didn't really like it, and I'm
Yeah.
selling it to get another one. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and some
I
of my
was just-
buddies had got the 10% off gift cards at Cabela's. I kind of
Oh.
wish I had done that because that would have
Oh.
been on top of this.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got those two.
Jason-
They might get here they said they're going to get here for Monday. I just
Okay.
got the shipping notice. It's coming from Calgary, DHL. I might get it tomorrow.
Yep.
Maybe. Fingers crossed. That'd be cool.
You'll have them for next week
Yes.
for sure. Okay.
You were trying to mention something about Jason.
I posted a little earlier. Jason Sterling said that he got a Wrangler for $249 at Cabela's. How much did you pay for that Wrangler? Or we talked about one last week.
Less.
It was
$249 is still good.
Yeah, it's still a good price.
Yeah.
Can't
Got
remember.
$229, $239. I don't know.
Yep.
Who cares about $10? I do. But a buddy of mine was asking me about the BX triggers, and Cabela's had them for $129 or something like that. I'm like, they go lower. Wait, they'll go to $99. He's like, it's $30. I'm like, yeah, you can get it for $99. I'm just scrimping on like $10 here, $20 there. In the long run, it doesn't matter.
People are wondering what the transfer times are like. I don't know.
For our pal, yeah, I'm not sure. My our pal transfers earlier were like a couple months ago were pretty quick, and I transferred a lot. Like they should have red flagged my account and be like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" But no, it was quick. I wrote an
I'm not sure
article
either.
on. Whoops, that's Mo there. I wrote an article on getting started with hunting. So there's actually a topic that's like come up multiple times this year specifically. I've been talking with a couple of people. I took a listener out. Well, I wouldn't take him out. I went with him out hunting, and it's just been on my mind. So I decided to write the article first and then record the video. So I'm just working on editing the video right now. But if you're interested in learning on how to get started with hunting, more specifically, I guess, if you're in Alberta and if you're like into guns and now you want to get into hunting,
Yeah.
I wrote some stuff about that.
It was a good article. I shared it around.
Oh, thank
I
you.
even
Yeah, I think
posted-
I saw that.
I think I even posted it on the Slimfire page. Maybe.
That's a good idea. I wish I would have thought of that.
Hmm.
Just like crank this stuff out there and throw it out in the world. I'm like, I'm done.
Eh. Okay.
We're having our 3-gun AGM for Chaz coming up here pretty quick. So it's like all the volunteers get together and we try to figure out what we're going to do for next year. This year we did like subcommittees on different things. I was on the rules committee and we're just kind of like going through the rules there. I was asking Kyle some stuff about UML rules and that kind of thing a little bit earlier here because we're looking at just updating them, getting them in line with something else. So as we're looking at USPSA multi-gun rules and our rule set and like what will be required to bring either of them up to speed and I guess like add some clarity where it's necessary. Like the cool thing about USPSA is that it's got all the rules in there. The downside is it's got like all the rules.
All the
in there.
rules?
It's got
Yeah.
stuff that you just don't need. Like there's all sorts of bureaucracy layered on it, and it just makes me like not want to think about it. But
You mean there's controversy at matches?
there's arbitration and there's calibration and there's this like hierarchy of range people, and it's like I don't know, like there is a place for that, like for complete competitive equity, like absolutely. For let's just get it done and like let's have a match. Like
And
I
go have fun.
the RO said this. I don't agree with that. Okay, you can talk to the match director. Go
Yeah.
talk to them, and that's it, right? And I don't know. So we'll probably do some sort of like, I don't know what we're going to do with our rules, but I'm glad that we're looking at them because there's been a couple of things where it's like they're not they're not up to snuff, and or they've just been like outdated, and they need to get back up to speed.
They need to be okay.
You had increasing some penalties.
I don't want to increase the penalties. I like the right now. A single hit on target is 2.5 seconds for us. A miss on target's 5 seconds, and a fail to engage is 10. If we increase the penalties on that, people will shoot more slowly and deliberately, which means that stage times will go down, round count will go down, and it'll take longer to shoot through the day. I kind of like small penalties.
I was thinking more specifically on like your aerial clays.
The fact right now they're 2.5 right now, right?
Yeah, so they basically your aerial is basically nothing.
You know,
and I've noticed that
was a big change, right? We had those as 20 seconds at some point in the past. The problem there is like you get a clay in the air, you're like, oh, I forgot to reload my shotgun. Well, your match is over.
Yeah.
You didn't shoot that bird in the sky. Your match is over. You suck.
I'm saying middle ground, like maybe not 20 seconds, but like 5 or 10.
Yeah. I don't know what
I don't know. I know for me, like the 2.5 seconds just doesn't, it's not enough to make a difference. Like, it's not even worth taking a second shot. If you notice you miss your first shot, it's not worth taking the second shot, it seems sometimes.
It is though. You well, like how long does it take you to put a shell in the shotgun? I bet you can do 8 in like what, 4 seconds to do 2 quad loads.
Yeah, probably about
4 or 5
yeah.
seconds. Yeah, so
less than a second for stage saver. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can put a shell in the shotgun in half a second. So it is worth, like at 2.5, it's still worth taking 2 shots. But it's also worth if you've got an array of like 3 of them, light them all up, get all those birds in the air, and run, right? I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that way of shooting, not like a real careful. You know, I kind of want to encourage people to go fast, but it's about what the group wants and what's right for us. So, anyways, we're looking at those right now.
How many matches do you do per year there?
March till December. We do like,
so it's monthly.
10 maybe, yeah, monthly.
Oh, yeah. So it's okay. So monthly from March to December. Cool.
Yeah, with one big one in June typically, or this year we did it differently because of the Rona. Cool. And then I mailed some stuff today. I mailed the Dremel to our lucky winner, Joel. And I also mailed some meat, and I mailed some slings. 1 or 2 slings are on the way to Kelly.
Sweet. Did he get a sandwich too?
There might be something in there. might be something in there. Mm-hmm.
I might not want to open it.
Just open it with your dogs nearby. We'll say that.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can't afford the vet bills. Jason Sterling wants to know, why don't we address this? So he says it might be a little off topic, but wondering the legality of a 10-round LAR mag loaded with 5 rounds and a Mossberg MVP bolt action thoughts.
Yeah, some of the guys at 3-gun don't have a semi-automatic rifle anymore, and they run like a Mossberg MVP or the what's the other Ruger? What's the Ruger that takes those mags?
Oh.
It's not an American. Anyways, yes, you can. Now he's saying as it applies to hunting. I believe, is Jason in Alberta?
I was gonna say in Alberta.
No, he's in Ontario.
Okay, I don't know on Ontario.
Your own rules. In Alberta, you have bolt action doesn't matter. Bolt action doesn't matter. Semi-auto, 5 rounds for a big game. You can't run a 10-round mag for big game with a semi-auto in Alberta, so you have to block it. I've thought about this.
No, it's bolt action, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, bolt action doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it matters in Ontario either. Because like you think of like what did people usually hunt with about 50 years ago? 303 Lee Enfields. Okay, well, 10-round mags. So like they're not going to bother making those guys block that stuff off.
No.
I would say if your province does have a maximum amount of rounds in the gun, you're gonna have to block it. Like for one example, our shotguns for waterfowl, we're only allowed 3 rounds in there, and you have to have it doweled. It's not look at it and you only have 3 rounds. It has to be doweled to only hold 2 in the tube and 1 in the chamber.
Yeah.
That could be like a temporary block though, right? It could just be like a pencil or something like that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it for me. So let's want to move on to upcoming events. Upcoming events is sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telosalpha.com.
Mhm.
Gunny Girl calendar signings. They're going to be. Do you want to take this, Kelly? Do you want me to?
Okay, so we have some happening in Alberta and in Ontario. So I'll talk about the ones in Ontario. Everything's happening on December 11th. There's specific reasons why. It's easy to keep track of. But not only that, we can round up the ladies and get a couple done at once or on one day. Anyways, so December 11th happening at Range 519 Select Shooting Supplies, the same location. In Cambridge, Ontario, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can go there and you can either pick up a calendar from them because they have their own supplies that they're going to be selling, or you can order it online, or you can actually, we might have some, we're bringing some, I have some sitting here beside me that I'm going to be bringing to the signings as well. So we do have a few available for the signings. So the calendar itself, just wanted you guys to, can you see this? So this is a calendar.
Yes.
All right. So it's $25 this year. All the money goes right directly back into the program because our sponsors sponsored the production of the calendar. So just to let you know, not only do you get a calendar, you also get this year for the first time, you get this. So you get a poster, a pull-out poster that you can put on your wall.
Awesome.
With extra pictures and extra gunny girls. And the calendar itself is, all of them have a unique code on the back of them. And you go to the website starting January 1st, by the way, because we still are in 2021 and we have to take care of that. So on January 1st, go to the website and then you can register your calendar and then you get to win all kinds of cool prizes, including guns. So go and register it. So you're going to have great photos. And by the way, I checked all the dates personally. They're all there and they're all correct. So for June, you got Lisa. Anyways, she's cute as a button. She's from Alberta. May, you got Dana. Now, this is a really hard photo for us to pick. Dana was also the lady that was in the swamp or the pond picture, and she had my PGW M15, but we didn't pick her picture. We actually picked the picture. We picked the picture of her on the bike. Range 519, Miss January. That's D. Anyways. Come and see these ladies. Most of the ladies are going to be at the calendar signings. This is July. This is Christina. Anyways, and then a couple of them are together. So this is Amanda and also Barb. So yeah, come on out. Oh, okay. So that's Range 519 Select Shooting Supplies, Cambridge, on the 11th of December from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then we're going to head over to London. So going to Bullseye North in London, Ontario. We're going to be there from 2 to 4. So you can, as I said, get the ladies to sign your calendars if you've already ordered them. By the way, they're about 65, 70% sold out.
Nice.
In Alberta on the exact same days. So December 11th, Calgary Shooting Center in Calgary, Alberta, obviously, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You're going to have a few ladies there as well to sign. Same deal. Either order your calendar and bring it, or we're going to have calendars there for you to buy. And then same day, December 11th, go on over to the Shooting Edge, which is also in Calgary, and it's from 2 to 4. They'll be there to sign. So, yeah, that's it.
Neat.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the news. First bit of news. Kitchener Man 90 had 325 firearms in the house. Did you guys read
That's
that?
it?
Yeah.
So I think it's a lifelong dream. Like this guy made it.
Yeah.
So first of all, he's 90 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So And
I think when you get to that age, if you got like 300 guns, you should probably like start willing them out. Like, you know how, like, I don't know if your guys' parents are at the age where they start doing this, but they start like sending stuff with you. Like, hey, you know, you need a crock pot. You need like a crock pot from the 60s. Here you go.
Divesting
You're like,
themselves and
oh
stuff,
yeah, thanks, great. And you throw it in the garbage and then you never use it again. Like, I
Mhm.
think that's like, if you got 325 guns, you should probably start doing that.
Yeah.
Well before the time.
So did you read what happened?
Yeah.
Poor man. He had a medical emergency. He's fallen and help. I can't get up. So the paramedics responded. The police came. They saw a firearm. Okay, he's 90 years old, and I think rural. So I think here's my summation. This is an older gentleman. He was somebody who was one of those people that didn't maybe think that he really needed a license, because it said he was not a licensed firearm owner. So he had something against a rifle, maybe for predator or whatever.
No, it says the guns were not non-restricted and legally possessed by the 90-year-old or his son, but some of them were full auto.
Yeah.
Right. But I think he's 90 years old. He acquired some firearms and just before the ban, and this never did anything with that.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like I go to these fire. I go to whatever. So I'm like, I was at the, I don't know, Lindsay Turkey Fair, and we had a CCFR booth, and I had a gentleman who must have been 85 if he was, he was probably 85. And he came up to me and he said, I don't have a license. And he says, but I should be able to keep my firearm and have it out, and so I can, shoot coyotes if I need to protect my. And I'm going, well, first of all, I'm going to recommend that you get a license, because if something happens,
sounds like a lot of opinion here.
But his thought was that we should never have pistols. They're the abomination and all that. I'm going, well, I'm going, okay, but here's what I recommend: get your license in case something does happen to you, because I don't want to see something happen to you. And I think that's kind of what I was thinking with respect to this 90-year-old.
Yeah.
And he had the
probably
same
would have had to like register some restricteds that he had for a long time. No, they've always been registered here though. The full autos probably needed to be like registered or something like that at some point.
So the interesting part of that article was his son. So if he's 90 years old, I'm assuming the son is probably 70-ish or maybe 65-ish, right? That's pretty impressive as well with age-wise.
He should be willing those guns. Like this should have jumped like twice already.
Yeah.
But the son decided that he would take the blame for some of the firearms, even though he's not able to possess them. Wasn't that the gist of the article?
The cops seized a whole pile of them. They just kept a couple. As far, I think that's what I saw somewhere in there.
Yeah.
The son agreed to a 3-year weapons ban. A handful of the firearms with sentimental value will be transferred to his brother, who has a firearms license. The rest will be forfeited.
That's a lot.
That's a stupid move. That's a move that someone makes without talking to a lawyer. Should have talked to a lawyer first. 325 firearms. That's potentially, I don't know, 200, 300 grand. Like I would have talked to a lawyer to see how to extract that value and not just hand them over to the cops to run them over with a steamroller.
But they're 90-year-old men who are charged with firearms.
Hand over like they're not going to go to jail or anything like that. Hand over that money to your kids or grandkids or something like that.
I didn't see the story. How did they come to find out that this guy had these guns?
The guy
had a
fell.
medical emergency.
He had a medical emergency.
Because rifles like propped up in his living room or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he was clean.
Well, there was never a threat to society, a risk to society. Like, then that's nonsense. Then
no. Anyhow, interesting idea. This one I'm confused by. The RCMP confirmed all 22 victims of 2020. So the Wortman shooting in Nova Scotia were firearm-related homicides.
Why is that important now to know? How does it change? What happened?
They said that they weren't.
9.
Yeah.
I know. I get that part, but does it make it worse now that they were all shot and killed versus if half of them died in a fire and half of them were shot and killed?
I think because of the optics, because what happened was immediately after the OIC was introduced. And there
it's about optics that it makes it more of a mass killing with a gun, a 22 versus 13 or 9. Like, what's the?
But they
what's the
should have
point?
done that back then. Like, how long does it take to do an autopsy? A week? 2 weeks? Well, they had to do a bunch of work here. Okay, 2 weeks. This news would have been known. Okay, examine some bodies. We see signs of gunshot wounds on all of them. Okay, this news could have come out a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
It would have been it would have been more strategic for it to come out a year and a half ago. It's very odd for it to come out now that it's like they're all shot, isn't it?
yeah. I don't understand. That's why I didn't get why this story needed to come out now. And then why don't we
like there was no like the police didn't say it before. They said before, whatever, 9 of the people died from fire, not from shooting.
Yeah.
So this is a change in story from the cops.
And then how come they never acted on the fact that they were made aware of him having illegal guns and having record and
incompetence?
all that
but,
stuff.
yeah, but like
that's
after the fact
getting
is
buried.
odd. Yeah,
Isn't that a key piece of the story, right? If we're supposed to have red flag laws, but then they don't actually do anything when there's actually a real
Credible.
danger, credible, yeah.
Credible.
That's my problem with it. It's like,
and that's just going to get swept under the rug.
Yeah, they can gun down a gunsmith who had no reason, was absolutely no threat, and then we don't hear anything about that either. So
they're going to be offering the families. I heard this today. They're going to be offering their families a settlement with a non-disclosure that they have to sign. I don't think that they should have.
Interesting.
No, great for the families. Terrible for justice because
that's horrible.
Our money just makes it go away.
Yeah. Our taxes are used to hush them so that they don't take it any further. Oh, that's nice.
No, they should have it's an investigation. They should be able to disclose all information and not have a non-disclosure.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
That is interesting. Very
interesting. Well, some more good news to back the blue. Toronto police who shot Round Gunsmith won't talk to SIU.
Yeah, I saw that too, and that's what got me going because it's like, okay, so you just go in and kill somebody who wasn't a threat. And I know, yes, I don't have all the facts, but
I talked to him.
But everything you hear is that this guy was absolutely no threat. He was literally working on a customer's gun when they went in there, guns ablazing.
Oh, we don't know. Maybe something happened in the moment. That would be a great thing to mention to SIU.
What happened in the moment? He was holding a gun while he was repairing it.
He pointed at me and say, "Die, pigs," and he did something like or something. No, I am not saying the cops not saying anything.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'm all fired up today. Sorry. So I dry fire in I dry fire in my living room, in my dining room. Okay, most mornings, which is near my front door. So I'm holding a pistol, which of course is unloaded and safe, but it's in my hand pointing forward. And if somebody broke down my front door, don't you think I would turn around with that pistol in my hand?
I hope
and
not.
Am I gonna?
The cops broke in at the wrong time. You're toast.
Yeah, they would see me holding a gun, and I'm going to get gunned down, even though I know I'm exaggerating. Like this would very, very unlikely to happen, but it's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of you, like you practice with a gun in your hand, or you're dremeling your guns. Somebody breaks into your house, you have a gun in your hand. It's normal, right?
Yeah. Well, and yes, he was a gunsmith, and it should have been, and it was a no knock. So here's the deal. I think that, and again, this is me surmising. I think that he was told by his representatives not to talk to anybody. Don't say a freaking word, and he's holding to it.
Yeah.
And the SIU, he will be ordered to do it, and he will put under basically
paid leave.
He's already on paid leave, but he will be court ordered to talk to SIU. Yeah, but now I'm assuming that they're telling him don't talk to anybody, don't say a damn word about anything.
It's kind of funny that like it was a month ago, and they're like, "Hey,
no,
what happened last month?"
They still got more work to do to the story.
And that's
and the family had the press conference on the lawn, and if they hadn't done that, there would really be no talk about it. It wasn't reported by many major news sources, right?
No.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. See you,
Yeah.
Paul.
Let's see that one get swept under the rug
Okay.
as
This
well.
one just befuddles me.
Baldwin said
What
he didn't pull
hell
the
is
trigger.
this? Sorry. Who wrote
the
I
that?
added,
The
I added a
magic
little bit
revolver.
afterwards.
The immaculate.
So it's a single action revolver. He said he didn't pull the trigger, so I was commenting maybe it was like a Ghost Patrick Swayze. Like,
Yeah.
In Roadhouse.
someone on YouTube had commented about our tasteless joking around this person's death,
Yeah.
and I said to that person,
Yeah, I saw that.
I will continue to make tasteless jokes because
Yeah, I
they're
saw that.
coming. Yeah, they will not stop.
He still pulled the trigger.
Yeah, of
Well,
course he did.
It's
This
a
is the
single
dumbest
action.
thing
The
ever to
hammer's
say.
got to be cocked.
But he had
Oh.
yeah. And then there's a little bit more. There was an interview that just came out. There was a prop master who was hired as well. I thought that there wasn't. So there's a prop master, and then there was she was the armor said she wasn't even in. But
Mhm.
remember we're having Dustin on?
Yep.
So he was talking about
Yep.
right? Rattle, rattle, rattle. She had picked them up and she had loaded it, and she said that she had care and control of it and then put it on set. But she didn't, she heard a chick on a couple of them, but she didn't check the bullets. Anyways.
That
This was the
article was
article.
just wild to
weird.
read.
I did forward
were
it to you
saying they were
guys.
reloaded.
Yeah.
There was some Starline, and most of my
Yeah, so
blanks
the people
are
who-
Starline, but these full ones were also Starline. It's like
Yeah.
that is not how you check
No.
whether it's a loaded round or not. You don't check whether
Yeah.
it's a
The
prop
brass.
is the dingly metal ball in there, not Starline. Just because it's Starline, it's safe. Like
So
brass
that
manufacturer.
that came from her dad. Her dad was the one who is a prop master who is really well known apparently. But he said that the people that they rented the guns from or supplied the guns with normal practice, they gave them some ammo, and some of it was live fire, and some of it was the dummy gun
Prop
or
ammo.
dummy rounds, and he thinks that they were mixed together.
Hmm.
Anyways, it's a convoluted story. Did you read that story?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
weird.
hard to follow. It was very hard to follow.
Yeah.
It was.
And Alec didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
He so did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Like it's one. He should just say, you know what? We hire all these people to make sure this is safe. Their fault. And okay, great. Yeah, you shouldn't point a gun at someone to pull the trigger. But you're an actor. That's your job. Your job is not to like do all this other stuff. Someone else is supposed to be babysitting you. Someone else didn't babysit you.
No. And she said that she checked 5 rounds, and the 6th one she didn't check. Well, the 6th one's the one that. Anyways.
And that is all revisionist history by this point now. Didn't check the 6th for like who knows. Like your memory plays tricks on you, and it's hard to take any of this stuff as fact by now.
Yeah.
Just like if you're going to ask someone about the details of a shooting that happened like a month ago, you're going to get very good.
I remember everything.
Let's get into the CCFR legal fund donations. Kelly, you'll take these away.
Sure.
We're laughing, but like it's a silly.
It's a
just
serious
completely-
It's a sad laugh. It's a sad laugh.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a serious subject, but it's like, hello. Anyways.
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The state of where we're at right now.
But for Baldwin to say he didn't pull the trigger, he so did. Anyways.
Yeah.
CCFR legal donations. We have one that's been listed: Shooter's Choice Pro Shop and the Colby Shooting Club in Waterloo, Ontario. They came together and they raised $5,000 for the legal funds. So it's
That's awesome.
Yay. And that's it. So if you'd like to help out the CCFR and also help out yourself, go over to the CCFR website, become a member, go to the donate. You can actually hit that little button that says donate, and that'll go to the legal funds for the OIC, or you can send them an EMT at finance@firearmsrights.ca, or you can go to their web store as well and buy all that stuff because it also helps finance them as well. Buy a calendar.
Awesome. Let's get into new gun stuff. New gun stuff is sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee. Bolt Action Coffee grinds up coffee. We're a brand ambassador for them. They make it in small batches. You can drink it and get all wired on coffee. Go on over to boltactioncoffee.com and use discount code SLAMFIRE. Get a bunch of it and get all wired up.
Hey, Mo.
I'm enjoying mine.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'm not the 11th hour. I opened up the other one. I got the scopes up, the light one.
Scopes up. Yeah, that's
it's good.
probably
I'm
my
enjoying
favorite.
it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yep. Okay.
Nice. The first one, I don't know if I knew this or not. Maybe we even talked about it on the show. JAE Chassis. MDT bought them? They did something? I noticed that on this website. It's really small. Let me see if I can zoom into it. Oh, it's not going to let me. Give me a big logo. It says JAE by MDT. It's very small there.
Huh.
Interesting. So does that mean that they got the design and they're making them in Canada? I think that's what it means. Very neat. Anyways, just a little tidbit. The other one here is Crusader Arms. This is a 9mm PCC made by Spectre Limited. It looks like a 180 style rifle that's been made into 9mm. So similar, like TNA made something like this. Did you guys watch the YouTube video that the intro on it? I love it. It's the guy on the horse, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy had better I want him to pull out this 9mm carbine like a sword. And sure enough, he didn't pull it out with a sword, but he pulled out a 9mm carbine while riding his horse. I'm like, yeah. This is all the ridiculousness. I love it. It's a 9mm carbine. It features a couple of interesting things. It's right around 1650. It's got a Trigger Tech trigger in it from the factory. I'd imagine that's their PCC version.
Yep.
M-Lock forend. It's kind of like a bulky, spacey upper kind of a thing. Look going for it. Non-reciprocating charging handle.
I like it.
But one of the listeners commented about the price, and I think so too. Aren't most of the other ones in the 1,000 to 1,300 range? No,
other ones. What? Like TNA sells a conversion kit that you can get, but it's
in terms of carbines and stuff.
You're talking about the Ruger.
PC.
Oh, the Ruger PC carbine is $700 or $1,000 for the M-Lock version. Yep.
Yeah, I think you're
FX9. FX9 is 13.
Yeah,
1350, something like that.
Yeah. Non-reciprocating charging handle. Interesting. I kind of prefer reciprocating charging handles. I like the ability to use them as a forward assist, which that was actually something I missed in the news. Rittenhouse said he used his forward assist when he had to.
Yep.
Wouldn't need to use your forward assist if you had a reciprocating charging handle on your firearm.
There you
go. They're selling these as a full rifle or as an add your own stock grip to trigger, etc., etc., etc. It's got the same little paddle. Why am I on the show notes? It's got the same little paddle front on the on the magazine as the TNA as well. So it's that's how you remove your mags on it. So yeah, interesting. Again, I like that there's more options in Canada.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like options.
Options are good, yeah.
Okay.
Did we decide on a main topic?
No, we didn't.
No.
We didn't have a main topic. We were going to keep it short and sweet. Remember, it's not meeting that
short
criteria.
and sweet. No main topic. Got it. Oh, it will.
Just listening to me snap a few times tonight. That was it.
Ram this thing through. Finish it off.
Okay.
Too graphic.
Yeah, a bit.
All right. Let's get on to listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing and barrel ramming or something along that line. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca.
Sweet. No new emails. I checked.
Okay. Yep. And then on Facebook, we've seen there was some discussion around Ontario, whether you could hunt with a 10-round mag or not, or 5. And I believe Brandon said in Ontario, the only capacity limits we have are 5 rounds for centerfire semi-autos and 3 shells for migratory and upland. So
yes,
sounds like you're good on that. On federally, you can shoot with a 10-round mag in a semi-auto, so long as that 10-round mag is made for a pistol or something else. Again, the limits are on the magazine, not on the intended use or actual use. It's what the magazine is designed for. That means that the manufacturer sets it. You don't. You can't just like, oh, I'm going to use this Magpul mag in my Mossberg, so I'm going to drill that rivet out. You can't do that. So no other emails or Facebook things. If you'd like to send us an email, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to do like a Facebook review or something like that, go on Facebook, go on the Slamfire Facebook page, and there's like this little reviews thing off the side. Give us a weird review. We'll probably read it on air. We do that kind of thing.
The weirder, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We like weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Patreon supporters, if you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com, search for Slamfire Radio, and throw a little bit of cheddar our way, and we'll send you a patch or sticker or jerky, depending on the time of the year, and it'll go in the mail.
Sandwich.
Or a sandwich, depending
Eats
on
by mail.
where we're at. Yep. Shoutouts, Kelly?
No. I know I have yes printed in there, but that's standard. It's the go-to. So no, I don't have any.
Awesome. Mo?
Remy, the match director from the RA Center, because the match was actually sold out, and he told me last minute about a spot that opened up, and I'm glad I went, and so thank you.
Nice.
Good job.
And it doesn't look like we have anyone else. Finally, check us out on Gunners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. Join the CCFR. And we'll see you next week.
Wait a
See you
minute.
next week.
Bye.